Good morning and welcome to Excel Live. I'm your host, Cora Hart, coming to you from the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Drop in the comments where you are joining us from, or if you have any questions, and we'll try to get those answered. Today, I have an amazing woman joining me, Brooke Broady. Brooke has been in real estate for 7 years now and is the mega team leader for Domi Agency in Carmel, Indiana. Consisting of 90 agents and growing, she loves what she does and firmly believes in providing support for her agents while removing everyday obstacles to help them succeed. Today, we're going to talk about best practices for onboarding and retention. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, Cora. Thanks for having me today.
I am so glad I get to talk to you finally.
Yes.
So I guess that brings me to my first question. When you're onboarding, what is your number one priority?
Making sure that make a connection with the agent to make sure to understand what their priorities are. Each people get into the real estate field for different reasons. And each agent has a different level of knowledge and kind of ambition. So some agents are ready to get in and they're on a devour and, go 90 miles a minute. And some, take this for the flexibility of the schedule. So it's really important to get to know them, to understand how they learn, to understand, how quickly they want to get in all the systems, because you can throw 10 things at one agent and they're like, okay, great, got it. And they're ready for number 11. And you can throw 10 things at one agent, and if they're not ready for it, they didn't get any of it. So you really need to have that connection, know where they're at, and just kind of take it step by step. So I let them know, hey, this is about you. So you tell me when you're ready for the next step. So one of the things that we really, really get from when you join EXP, there's so many tools. Oh my gosh, so many, right? And I've not heard from one single agent, whether they've been in the business for 5 minutes or 30 years, every single agent has said when they've come on, wow, there's so much stuff. It's overwhelming. And I say, absolutely. Okay, so let's digest it together. Let's go. Let's understand what's important to you. And one, let's make sure you can log in, right? I also created a list of just like the 10 most important things. And so, okay, you can log in. Now let's talk about these 10 things, and these 10 things only in this first kind of meeting once you've been onboarded.
And so then there's 10 things that you like to touch base on, and you have a list of those so that you kind of just are able to, and are they a lot of questions?
No, it is a question, but it's a lot of it. Do you understand what this is and why you would use it? Like, why do you understand what the EXP world is? Okay. Like, one, have you logged in? And about 50-50 have. And if they have logged in, they don't really necessarily know why they would go there. Okay. So then I always want to make sure that they know how to get to their broker stateroom, and that they know what day their trainings are for their state. So for our stateroom, we always have trainings on Tuesdays at 9:30. So I go in with them and I show them these are where your trainings are going to be. And then I always take them, over to their managing broker's office so that they can see, the email address, they can see their office hours. I always take them over to see their admin site. I always take them over to see their compliance site. So I tell them, if you have questions in SkySlope, when you're putting in the notes, this is who your notes are coming from and this is why. And so if you don't understand what they're saying, because the notes section aren't huge, this is who you can kind of talk to, and you can actually send an email to, or you can go work chat, or these are the people that are in these rooms Monday through Friday. Go talk to them instead of just sky sloping back and forth, And so I teach them what the world is and why they would use it.
That's good because you're adding the value of each program. And a lot of people come in, they have no idea what those values are that we have to offer or how to even utilize them because they're scared to talk to people that they can't see or don't know.
Right. And EXP has 1,100 employees, which is awesome. But if you don't know what those 1,100 employees do, it's one, it's hugely overwhelming. And two, it doesn't matter because there's a construction worker right across the street from me. There's 1,100 employees at EXP. He doesn't know how to access them, you know? So having them and like making them understand and then just taking them, kind of walk them in to show them and give them some example questions. Like, why would I go to accounting? You know, where's the tech center? Why would I go to this? So yeah, we do that. And that's a big one. You know, like, do you know that you get a free agent starter kit? And I sent out a checklist with live links. My support is a big deal. So I'm here to like offer the support to my agents, but I also have a marketing guy that designs their brand, because brand is such a big deal. And especially if you're a new agent, you don't quite understand that. And each state has their own rules and regulations. You want to make sure that you're staying compliant. So the one thing you always want to do, I always want to make sure I'm taking those obstacles out of my agent's way. You know, I don't want to have them have a wrong business card and somebody filed a complaint against them. That's the last thing in the world I want my agents spending their time on, right? In Indiana, it's a lot more relaxed than it is in Arizona. You don't have to have your license number like you have to have in Arizona and things like that. So we always design their business cards for them and we make sure they're compliant. And then we send them the links, like, this is your, you know, go in here, get these free business cards. Do you know how to add your SkySlope forms to your room? You know, when you get your SkySlopes account, you don't have your forms in there for your state. So I send them a link with that, showing them how to do that. A lot of my agents are licensed in multiple states. So you need to do that in multiple states, and each state has a little bit different. Some you need your NRDS number, some you don't, certain things like that. I will make them sure they understand what workplace is and workplace chat. A lot of, you know, the EXP staff prefer workplace chat, and you're going to get faster results. So I explain to them why you use workplace chat. It's because especially like we have a specific closer for our team. And so Kristen is in her accounting system filing closings. So she's not in her email. And so her workplace chat is just going to pop up and she's going to see that, as opposed to her email. She's not going to see that until she goes in specifically into her email account. And so I always get in there and I put in the specific people that they're going to talk to. And I just put in, hi, Kristen, this is a test for future use. May need you to get an updated CDA, or, you know, let you know when a closing's complete. Or our state admin, hi, Alicia, just want to let you know I'm in if I ever have a problem getting logged in, or if my EXP email address ever has an issue. So I put those in their chat so they understand. I always make sure that they know where the referral network is. You know, on Workplace, there's 6 or 7 different referral networks. And the best one is EXP Referral Network. It's the one with the most members, but there are others with 12 or 14,000 members, and they're just not as good, but you don't know. And the EXP Referral Network is a closed network, so you have to actually go in and join it and get approved. So that's another thing. So just kind of go in and make them understand kind of those big things. And then I kind of stop and say, okay, let's breathe, you know, because you can, if you overwhelm people, they might have gotten it for those few minutes that you did it, but then you leave and they only retain 1 or 2 things that you talked about. So I try to like, okay, I don't want to go too much more into this. And then let's pick up when you're ready and kind of go over some of the next things. And don't ever be afraid to ask questions over any of these things either. You know, always make sure that they know that they're ready. I always like to let them know, you know, the Express Offers platform. I always like to let them know that it teaches them yes, it gets them in the door, that it is an iBuyer program, but it really, really teaches the agents how to convert that iBuyer introduction into a traditional listing. And if you know what you're doing when you go in with an iBuyer offer, but if the seller actually goes through, you can get like 8 or 9 out of 10 into a traditional listing.
And I think that's a lot of it. It's just educating them on what they can do, what they need, and how those resources will help their business because they don't understand that when they're first starting out.
Yeah, and there's so many. I mean, there's EXP has
It's
thousands of programs, like thousands of programs, even more than that. But it's about making them accessible and understand them and understand how they can help them, and doing it kind of just a tidbit at a time so that they're not overwhelming. So that's the onboarding part, is I really try to spend that one-on-one quality time and make sure that each agent understands. And some agents, I'm able to do that in just, one sit down or one Zoom. Some it takes 2 or 3. And then as far as like retention after that, I've created like an internal Facebook network group for my team where we can kind of talk. We can, offer open houses internally to, can anybody hold an open house for me? Can anybody do showings for me? Does anybody have a painter in this area or a plumber, things like that. I'll also post a lot of things updating, like if we have any form changes, or, EXP came out with a really awesome Q2 revenues update. It's update yesterday, which woohoo. So, post that kind of good news, accolades, things like that. So they can kind of talk to each other. The big thing is to make them try to feel included and not.
You're giving them the community that they need to feel the support on a continual basis, and that helps with retention.
Yeah. We also do a lot of events. Not everybody is here. We do have a good portion of our agents that are able to, but I have agents that will drive 100 miles to come to some of the events to have the kind of the face-to-face things. And we do anywhere from 2 to 4 events a month, and we try to vary them to the different likes. And we open them to not only agents to bring other agents, but agents to bring their clients. And as we know, the invite is, just as important as, that person actually coming to the event. And so, that's another value add that we provide for our team, but also that retention is like, come on, I hope you can come to the cookout. Or we have an agent call night tonight, and we teach them how to do scripts, and we give them numbers and leads to call, and practice doing video calls to their, clients, just things like that, a lot of agents don't want to do, but when you have somebody there behind you, it kind of makes you do it. And
I like that. So you're providing value to them of something enjoyable, to hang out with other people, make the community, but you're also pushing them out of their comfort zone to do the things that they may not want to do. So I like that you're incorporating the two to make it work.
Sometimes we just have fun things. We get a lot more people at just the fun things. We'll do like euchre tournaments, and we'll do just like cookouts, and we do March Madness for basketball polls, and we do a Friendsgiving, and coffee tastings and bourbon tastings and all kinds of stuff. We're doing a scavenger hunt here in a couple of weeks, which I'm excited about. Different charity events and whatnot. But we do try to also have the events to, let's do a note writing event and take your top 5 people that you think can change your business this next year. And, we provide the cards and the stamps. You just bring their name and their addresses, and do the call nights, and, do the videos, and, whatever I can get anybody to do. It's just, you guys just got to keep it fresh. So we're trying.
Keep it very fresh. So as a team leader, what do you find is the most valuable thing that you have to offer people?
My time. my ability to always be willing to help. If I don't have the question, I don't ever say I don't know. I always find somewhere, and that's so easy with EXP with 1,100 employees. All I have to do is hop on the world and I find somebody, so that's I love having that resource. And so I definitely just giving them somebody to touch and to know that I'm willing and being able there to help and direct and organize, and they know I have their back. Um, I know I create a relationship with the majority of them. I do care. I know as we get bigger and bigger, it's harder, but I do try to create that community so they're not just, and I do try to teach them how to fish. I don't just create something where it's just me and that we can't grow. When you create a relationship where they're completely dependent on me, like that's not a growth environment. They're not growing, I'm not growing, no one's growing when you do that. So I do show them how to get in the world. I show them where they need to go. I teach them why that's the correct answer, when we're talking about the deal. I am a branch manager, so we have a physical office location, and we do have a physical office, like a mailing address, so that's another thing of value that I'm able to provide my team.
That's really nice. And I agree. I also have that where I am located. And it's nice to have a place where we can network and get together and do events. And I agree also that, it's just creating that team environment. And it might be that motherly nurture in me that does that. But I actually genuinely care about everybody I work with. And I want to see everybody be successful. So I love the value that you're providing. I think there's a lot of good information. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we say goodbye today?
Nope. I appreciate you having me on. And I just think, a lot of it is about keeping those touches and the retention. And, and I will tell you at the beginning, when I wasn't as familiar with EXP, like I said, we're just now closing in on a year. I wasn't as good at it because I didn't know myself, and I've definitely being able to learn what I've learned is my retention has gone much farther up is because I've onboarded much better because I've learned more myself. So I do think that's something that I can pass on to other team leaders is really learn that onboarding system, because people feel lost in the system and then they feel like they don't matter. And then they're like, well, I don't matter, so why would I stay? And I think people need to feel like they matter. And when they feel like they matter, then I do think that they stay.
And I agree with that. We always have to continue to grow, but also always remember what it's like when you're starting and how overwhelming it can be. It's very important to help and to make sure that they understand everything. So I love the value that your team is providing, and I love working with you, Brooke.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we can do another show one of these days soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Cora.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Bye now.